Hello and welcome back to Newsmin. It's the 8th of July, 2013. My name's Lumin and right now it's time for a quick Hearthstone news recap. For this episode specifically, I really mean recap. We're going back to look at everything that happened over the past week or two to make sure we're ready for any and all Hearthstone news going forward. That said, in this episode we're talking about all the information revealed at the Hearthstone Fansite event, having a quick look at what happened during the latest Fireside Duel livestream and more. Starting with that Fansite event. A bunch of incredibly lucky people from a bunch of different Hearthstone and World of Warcraft fan sites were recently invited to Blizzard headquarters in Irvine, California to get their hands on the latest version of the game, participate in Q&A sessions, do interviews, and obviously spend some time with the devs. I know, it sounds like heaven and I too wish I was there. Fortunately for all of us that didn't attend, there are a whole lot of recaps of the event and previews of Hearthstone all over the internet with everything that was mentioned in them. The most complete and easy to read one I've come across thus far is from the guys over at Hearthstone. So what glorious information was uncovered at the event, you ask? Well, apparently a whole lot. The information has quite handily been split into the following categories: general, matchmaking, game progression, gold, cards, the forge, and iPad and tablet support. Starting in general, there was mention of a tutorial that uses Jaina Proudmoore as the player's hero. Upon completion, players will start out with that basic mage deck that they used, with more classes or heroes being unlocked as they play. Hearthstone will have daily quests. The devs want players playing against other players and not just the AI. Daily quests are meant to help with this. A concede option is available. There'll definitely be cross-promotion of some kind between World of Warcraft and Hearthstone, and I'm kind of interested to see what Blizzard are thinking of doing with this. The devs are apparently listening to the community quite keenly and developing Hearthstone with esports in mind, thinking of adding things suggested by them like a 2v2 mode, spectator modes, raid-in, and more. Aside from being free, the game will also have a small download to make it easier to get into. We might be seeing cosmetic items purchasable from the in-game store, and we should be seeing things like extra deck slots on there as well. Although I do think for most people the 9 that they give you to start off with should be enough. Moving on to matchmaking, both ranked and unranked play will be available. Ranked games will obviously feature different and sometimes probably greater rewards and achievements than unranked. Matchmaking will be based on a hidden matchmaking rating and not the cards in one's deck. And then finally, it is apparently completely possible to be competitive with only common cards, even in ranked play. In the game progression section, we learned that progression in Hearthstone, gaining levels for your heroes and such, currently serves as a means to give players basic cards. There's a lot of unused Warcraft lore and content from both the past and the future of the universe that can still be worked into the game. The post-launch development cycle will be based on community feedback, so that said, it hasn't been decided how it will be done yet. And then another big or at least interesting point, funding isn't important to Blizzard. They say they've got many other successful projects at the moment and their key focus is the quality of the game. So I'm assuming this means Blizzard won't get greedy with the microtransactions and there won't be any pay to win or anything like that. In the gold section, we were told that gold is in fact the primary currency of Hearthstone. It'll be used to purchase packs of cards and will be the entry fee for entering the forge. Gold is primarily earned through daily quests, and as was mentioned before, you will be able to use your Battle.net balance to buy certain items from the in-game store. In the card section, golden cards are getting tweaked and will have different color banners for each class, specular lighting, and will interact with the environment. I can't wait to see those. The devs say they'd rather modify cards instead of banning them from play or removing them entirely. Basic cards will be earned through leveling your hero up and playing the tutorials. Expert cards will be available through booster packs which are purchased with gold, and before buying any additional slots, the player may only create a maximum of 9 decks, as I mentioned before. Next, the Forge. Players will have to buy into the Forge using gold and will likely not keep the cards they use to build their Forge decks. The Forge is meant to be for slightly more experienced players, and lastly we were told that more information regarding the Forge will be shared soon. The final category is all about iPad and tablet support, and in it we hear that the game will work on iPad 2 and up, including the iPad mini. The iPad version of the game is currently very well developed, and lastly, finalizations are being made to get cross-platform play and integration up and running. That's something I hope comes soon, because as far as I can tell, Hearthstone really is the kind of game that both mobile and PC players should be able to play against each other on equal footing. But that's it for the Fansite event. Big thanks to Hearthstone for being as absolutely amazing as they are and summarizing everything as nicely as they did. Be sure to check the full post out below if if you're interested. Moving along though, next up we're having a quick look at all that transpired during the recent Fireside Duels livestream hosted by the lovely Zariah. Firstly, this time around we got to see Gul'dan in action, and the Warlock deck looked like a lot of fun. 3 games were played, 1 against a Rogue, 1 against a Priest, and 1 against a Hunter. We got to see the board animation for Twist in Nether that was rather impressive and left me wondering how many other spells or effects would be as complete as this. Zariah showed a couple of the board interactions off that were obviously kind of fun as well, and finally, the one thing I really didn't understand, she received a lot of flack for being bad at Hearthstone and not knowing how to play the deck that she chose. I mean, really, she's showing the game off that we all want to know more about, want to see more of, and just generally want in front of our faces, and all some people can think of is her level of skill. I, for one, thought she was thoroughly entertaining and would definitely watch her stream again. If you want to watch the full VOD of the livestream, you can find it below. It's about an hour long and doesn't include the hateful chat. With that done though, let's have a look at the smalls. There are a whole bunch of Hearthstone previews up on a whole bunch of different sites, including BlizzPro, WoW Insider, and more. There's a Datamind in-game store preview type post up over at Hearthpwn. There are tons of voiceovers to listen to, including those of the announcer and innkeeper in Hearthstone. Curse's second episode of their Fireside Update news is up. The third Fireside chat can be listened to right here on YouTube. Lastly, the first hints of free-to-play World of Warcraft are cropping up in the game files. I realize that last one isn't really Hearthstone news, but if World of Warcraft does happen to go free-to-play and Hearthstone players do get something from playing World of Warcraft, then it would probably be better for them if it was free-to-play, or at least cheaper for them. That is sadly all I have for you in this episode. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you like the content, check back here soon for more. Remember to check the description below this video for all sorts of links, like the video and do all that other good stuff, and most importantly, happy waiting for Hearthstone. Happy that.